A campaign is underway to urge parents to delay giving their kids smartphones until high school. Unplugged Canada is raising the alarm about the impact excess screen time can have on children. Jenna Poste started the Nova Scotia chapter of the movement. So why did you feel the need to get involved?
Well, as a mother of two young children, this is something to me that I've been passionate about, especially this last year. I read the book, The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, and that kind of just lit a fire in me that I wanted to help educate and share this message more about the impact of social media and smartphones on our children. There's a lot more data and research coming out now showing us what it can do to these young minds. And so I just wanted to try to help make some change in my community in Nova Scotia, try to help make an impact on my kids and the kids in our area. And it's something that's been just something of a passion of mine, given my sort of experience in the technology space. I've been working in building in this for the last almost 20 years, so I understand the amazing benefits it can offer. But I also know that with all the new data we now have after 10 years of kids having smartphones, what the impact is having on their development and their mental health.
So what has the reaction to this campaign been so far locally?
Locally, it's been extremely positive. Honestly, every parent I've talked to, it's not an easy conversation always to bring up because you just don't know where people are at in this topic. But with this year, there's been a bit of a changing tide with the introduction of the cell phone policies across the province. More people are talking about it, and more people are now seeing the positive benefits of when you start to reduce or limit the access to smartphones for young children. And so I think people are just starting to see the positive side of this. And the reaction so far has been really positive. And just, trying to get the message out there is more the difficult part. But those who actually have, I've had a conversation with are really responsive to it. I mean, there's always questions people have and sometimes some concerns, but overall it's been extremely positive.
Well, what about the contention that kids should have smartphones as a way to stay connected to their parents? If there's an emergency, they can call for help.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a comment I hear a lot. I think there's a little bit of a misconception that you need a smartphone to be able to stay connected with your child. There's lots of alternatives now out there for parents of a more basic phone. There's nothing wrong with giving them a phone to be able to communicate and message with friends and family. And in many cases, that's really necessary. But I think we've just kind of made the default to think that we have to give it a smartphone. There's lots of more options. There's the pinwheel phone that's come out in Canada recently. There's just more basic phone options available that you can still communicate and connect, but you don't need to give them full access to some of the applications that are designed to be addictive, and access to some, open web that really there's a lot of harmful content that they can get access to unintentionally many times.
Now, you had mentioned the new rules around cell phones in the classroom, but you don't think that goes far enough.
Well, I think it's a first step. Much of what Jonathan Haidt shared in that book is that was one of the recommendations is we do need phone-free schools to help make some change on this phone-based childhood that now kind of exists in our society. But one of them is, delaying smartphones and social media until kids are older, like a little bit more into high school when they're more developmentally ready. It's not about completely banning technology or not having any of that be a part of your life. There's some incredible benefits to it. It's just introducing it at an age appropriate and developmentally appropriate time, and being aware of the risks if you do introduce that earlier, because the complexities of trying to manage all of the parental controls on an iPhone, trying to give to your child, is actually really difficult for many parents, and they're not built for parental controls. They're actually more built for adults. So I think that's where it's one step, and I think there's just more that we need to do as a society to sort of change these norms, and one way is to just delay.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have an information session coming up next month. What do you hope to achieve there?
My hope is just to reach as many parents as I can to just help inform them. Everyone's going to make a decision based on what's best for their family. But I'm just trying to help get the message out on this new information we now have on some of the impacts of devices at an early age, and just hope people can make an informed decision for their family if they're able to join and listen in and be open to that conversation.
And for folks who do, where would they go?
So I've got a website you can go to. It is sorry, I have to get that clear, but it's on an Eventbrite website that is with the Nova Scotia chapter of Unplugged Canada. You can go to our socials as well and look for us there because we've shared all the information on there. But ideally, we're trying to register folks so that we know how many are coming in person. There's also a live stream available on Zoom that you can attend, in hopes of just reaching as many people across the province as possible.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.